You want me to take that?
Yeah, you just.
Do I need to turn it on?
It's all right.
Okay. All right, Coach, if you could make an opening statement, then we'll open it up for questions.
Okay. Well, we're obviously in the game week, and we're excited about that. We've had a good fall camp. I think our guys are showing that they want to be a good football team. They've worked very hard in terms of their practices and getting better, and I've been real pleased in particular in the last 2 to 3 practices. I think players have stepped it up at certain positions that we felt we needed to have them step up in order to be the kind of football team that we want to be.
Coach, I saw this right transfer from safety USC. So you know that you don't have to scheme around him anymore. So what's left for you to still figure out for your game plan for Saturday?
Well, although he left, the player that's starting for them, Bill Belton, is a guy that averaged 5.0 yards per carry. Silas averaged 5.1 yards per carry. So really not much difference in terms of productivity. Now Silas had a lot more carries, but I think that shows that they're going to be very talented at the running back spot. Bill Belton was a former receiver. Pros like to throw to the backs a lot, so I'm sure they'll be trying to utilize him in a lot of different ways, from slipping out of the backfield to screens to so forth. So we'll have to stop the running game and also be alert to what the tailback is all about in the passing game. Their quarterback Matt has started the last 5 games for him, so I consider him a returning starter at the quarterback position. He played in 11 ball games, 54% completion rate, which is not bad for a young quarterback, and obviously from reading what they're saying camp was all about, he's shown great improvement this spring and this fall. So there'll be a team that will show us a lot of different formations, a lot of different shifts, a lot of different motions, try to get us out of place on the defensive side of it, and then take advantage of that. And I think they can have a very, very productive running game this year, and they can have a very productive throwing game. So usually we go into ball games making sure that we try to stop the run, and I don't see this as being any different. They're talking about throwing the ball a lot this year, but it's clear that they can put together a very good running game, and if they do that against us, then they have everything going for them. So we'll try to stop the run. Obviously, want to make sure that we don't give up any real big plays either on the ground or through the air.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a bit of a guessing game planning for an opponent week 1. Is it more so this case, given that they've tried to keep things secret in fall camp? You got a new coach, new regime. You're not exactly sure what they're going to do.
I think that's accurate. We're guessing a little bit. Obviously, we've studied a lot of film on them. We started early before the coaches took any break at all this past summer. We had all 4 opponents broken down, and then as we came back to get started for fall camp, getting ready for the start of fall camp, we zeroed in on Penn State. So we've done all the homework that we can do, but you're piecing it together because their staff is a new staff, so they've come from different college programs. Their head coach is out of the pros, and new special teams coach, and so you're just looking at a lot of different film from a lot of different schools, hoping that they don't change too much and that you're not surprised too much. But really, in a first ball game, there's going to be surprises for both teams, and that's just the way a first ball game is. So we'll hopefully be ready to adjust on the run to whatever they surprise us with, and if we play good and sound, we should be fine.
You've led a team into Happy Valley before. What kind of lessons, what kind of things can you take from that experience that you're going to try to pass on to your guys this year in what should be a fervent, loud, rowdy atmosphere?
Yeah, it'll be loud. There's no question about that. You put 108,000 people in a stadium, it's going to be loud. Their stadium can reverberate sound to where It maybe even makes it a little bit louder. But, you know, we've been practicing on that, and we've been making sure that the real key in our mind is just how we handle everything, you know, how we handle the atmosphere of this game. There's been a lot of talk about it. Obviously, Penn State's a quality football program with a lot of talented athletes, so it's a tremendous challenge for us. We've faced challenges before. We've responded well before. We played well on the road. And so that all's got to come together for us. You know, we've got to accept the challenges of playing a top football team on the road, opening up on national TV, and accepting all those challenges, and we'll give you a chance to hopefully play well.
With the crowd noise, how does that, if at all, change your approach in terms of moving quickly off the line of scrimmage and play calling and what have you?
Mm-hmm. Well, we don't generally give a cadence right at the line of scrimmage anyway, because now we're back in the shotgun, so it's a lot of it's a movement of the quarterback's leg, and linemen are used to the ball being snapped without really a cadence involved. So we're hoping that from the distraction part of it offensively, that it should not be significant. You know, we'll obviously see here in a short period of time, but we've got an experienced line coming back. We've got an experienced quarterback coming back. So if anyone should be able to handle that, it should be our group.
Coach, can you just talk a little bit about Bill O'Brien? Obviously, a lot on his plate this season. Can you just talk about him and what to expect from him? Do you expect a lot to change with this team under him, or do you expect hard-nosed Penn State football, kind of what you've seen in the past?
Well, it'll be hard-nosed football, and you know that's I'm sure Bill's style, and that was Joe Paterno's style, and so I don't expect that to change. I mean, any coach, number one, you start with toughness, and if you take a tough team anywhere, or you play at home with a tough team, you like your chances, and if with all things being equal, and so I'm sure that that's part of his philosophy. Now, he has made changes there, you know, and some of those changes to a lot of people seem insignificant, to others they seem significant, but he's made changes, and so they're moving forward with what Bill O'Brien's all about, and I give him credit for that. You know, it's never easy to step in and follow a coaching legend like Joe Paterno was in terms of wins and losses, and because you get second guessed on everything. But as I view it, he's his own guy. He's doing what he thinks is best for Penn State and not doing what other people believe that he should be doing. So give him certainly a great deal of credit.
There's plenty of excitement around a home opener or a season opener anyways. Do you think an opponent like Penn State, for a team like the Ohio Bobcats, have a chance to knock off, you know, such a storied program and a big name team? Do you think that those players play with maybe even an extra chip on their shoulder going into this game, thinking, okay, maybe we didn't get recruited by Penn State, but we can show you we can beat you?
No, I don't think that really enters into it at all. You can't have yourself trying to come up with little things here and there to get yourself ready to play football. You know, the way we get ourselves ready to play football is we practice really well, we practice hard, we work on execution, and we work on toughness, and then we just expect that to carry over. But you know, all the other kind of sideline kind of things that you try to bring into it sometimes can just plain backfire on you. You know, we've played storied programs. You know, we played Ohio State twice. We played Pittsburgh. We played Illinois. We played Tennessee. We played Rutgers. You know, we played a lot of great programs, and it's just a matter of the kind of confidence level that you have in yourself and your teammates when you step on the field when you play those kind of programs determines whether or not you have a shot. And you know, up to this point, we've always stepped on the field with the ability that we can win, and that should never change.
There's a lot made of the NCAA sanctions, players leaving the program out of Penn State, but when you look at their front seven, none of those guys left, and that was a pretty good unit to begin with. Is that really one of their strengths and one of the things that you guys are going to have to deal with if you want to
Yeah,
win
it
Saturday?
was an exceptional unit. You know, they were 5th in the country last year on points scored against them, and so they didn't allow any points. And that's a great place to start if you want to win football games. They're a senior-dominated defensive football team. They have got only one sophomore from the starting lineup that we have seen that's playing defense, and so it's a veteran defensive football team that we'll be up against that played great football last year, and I'm sure they're counting on controlling the football game till everything comes along as an offensive unit, and that's what most teams try to do early in the year, and then you hope for a little bit of special teams help along the way.
Have you had any words of advice for your punter? Either, and if you've made a firm decision if it's going to be Grant or not, but it'll be his first game, and what kinds of things do you tell him not to have him clinch up, so to speak?
They're locked into a battle for the starting punting position, and I think both have performed really well at times. Both have been a little inconsistent at times. So I do like the fact that as of late they have shown more consistency. And I don't care who your punter is. You're going to get a bad one off now and then. You just got to have confidence in yourself and the technique that you've been operating for 1,000 kicks that you've kicked leading up to this point, knowing that you've prepared well and that you got a good long snapper that's going to get the ball back to you. We're going to protect well. We've got excellent ability to cover. Out of 50-some or whatever punts we had last year, there were only 8 punts returned against us last year. That's a combination of a lot of things. That's a combination of guys running down the field, covering the punts. That comes back to your long snapper. That comes back to your punter being able to get height on the punts. So he's going to be surrounded by a good group of guys. He just got to take a couple steps and punt the ball. So.
Any other questions for the coach?
So you went out this week, Frank? Well, not obviously Travis Carey.
Yeah. I'd like to hold on that as we come down the stretch, because obviously, there's a lot of questions that both teams have about one another leading into this ball game, and I just don't want to answer any questions for them right now, as they're not answering, of course, any questions for us. It just makes sense.
Anything else for Coach? Okay. Thank you, Coach.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
thanks, fellas.
See you.